This is genuinely insane from the Boston Bruins, as Jeremy Swayman has continued to shock Bruins fans in the wrong way. We're going to be talking about recent events which caused all this, as well as a brand new update on the Bruins coaching searches, as multiple targets are now off the board. We're going to be breaking it all down here in this video. Very quickly, before we jump into it, be sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. We're on the road to 7K. We know that just over 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot for all of your Bruins news, you're in that right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins, the good, the bad, and the upcoming multiple moves the Bruins are about to make, so be sure to stick around. But let's get straight into this. We have to talk about something that happened moments ago regarding Jeremy Swayman, something that's happening continuously throughout this season, and I keep on hating to go and say this, but Jeremy Swayman has continued to stink, and I hate to say this, but it's almost like a broken record at this point. We've been seeing it all season long, and now the season's over. We were hoping that we weren't going to have to hear it for a while, but unfortunately, that has not been the case with Team USA today in the World Hockey Championship playing Norway, and Jeremy Swayman had an absolute abysmal performance. We have some reactions from some people on X as well and on Twitter. We're going to jump into those in a minute, but when we're looking at Jeremy Swayman in the game against Team Norway, who have a few good players, a few good prospects that are going to be coming into the NHL eventually, but no notable NHL names, past or present. And you're seeing Jeremy Swayman put up these numbers. 18 shots on goal, 5 goals allowed. And the goals that were let in, I'm not going to say all were his fault, but they were some pretty bad goals. And, this is unacceptable, frankly. And I don't know that anybody really expected him to bounce back this quickly after the Bruins season to Team USA. I think a lot of people probably thought it was the Bruins team as well, but it goes to show that Jeremy Swayman was a big issue this year, and it was not just the team, and especially not Jim Montgomery as well. But looking at this, it is frankly unacceptable for Jeremy Swayman putting up these numbers, but it has continued to go like this throughout this season and continuing into the offseason so far, and we need to see something change with this. But when we go and look at a few reactions here, this one from Steven Ellis. This is when Norway made it 5-3. It was 5-3 for the U.S. U.S. was up 5-1. Rough day for Jeremy Swayman, who has allowed every shot he faced through 13 minutes in the second period. And that's just another, from that point in the game. Going 13 minutes into the second period, every shot that Norway has had went in. You can't let that happen. You can't have that happen against a team in Norway with a team like the U.S. who, the team didn't play great either. Let's not get that, over our heads. But Jeremy Swayman was a big part of this going into this team not being the way they should. The game should not have been this. Another one here from Adam Fisher. Swayman, 5 goals on 18 shots. They didn't realize how poor Team USA special teams was performing so far. 10th in the penalty kill and 5 on the power play, even though there is a lot more hockey. So once again, kind of throw this out there that not just all on Jeremy Swayman. The team has not been playing great either, but when it does come down to it, Jeremy Swayman in his game against Hungary, I believe it was, and his game against today against the Norway team, definitely not the greatest performances from him so far. He's faced 31 shots total, faced 13 against Hungary, and Norway faced 18, and when you're letting up 5 goals on 31 shots, even then, that's still not great. And when you see how the opponents have been, or who the opponents have been for those games, not good. It really isn't good. So I want to know what your thoughts are on Jeremy Swayman here, his performances so far in this World Hockey Championship. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when they play a team that actually has some NHL players, Sweden, Finland, Canada, whoever it may be. Those are the notable ones. But, it's not a good look for Jeremy Swayman this far. And kind of comes into play as well what's happening with the coaching carousel from the Boston Bruins, firing Jim Montgomery with, of course, Jeremy Swayman's not great performance to start the season. The team's not great performance. Joe Sacco coming in, turning the team around a bit, but Jeremy Swayman did not get affected by that. When we're looking at a big recent update from this Boston Bruins coaching carousel, we're looking at Rick Tocchet being hired by the Philadelphia Flyers, and according to multiple reports, another top coaching candidate, this time another Boston Bruins one off the board to the Philadelphia Flyers. The list is getting slimmer and slimmer when it does come down to the Bruins targets, and this is something they're going to need to act upon quick if they want to be able to get someone that they have trust into. This is something that we've been able to see in the free agency, in the draft, for years and years and years, and it's not any different with the coaching carousel. When one hot commodity comes off the market, the rest of them start to follow. The rest of the dominoes start to topple. And this is going to be the same thing with the coaches. We've already seen Mike Sullivan. We've seen now Rick Tocchet. We see Adam Foote getting promoted with the Vancouver Canucks. A lot of teams, Ken Holland to the LA Kings, a lot of teams, a bit different there, but a lot of teams are starting to make their moves on the front office, on the head coaching side of things, And now the Bruins need to start getting things ready. And when we're looking at the list of candidates, it's starting to slim down, but there still are options here for the Boston Bruins. We look at Jay Woodcroft, a recent addition to this, who we're going to be talking about here in today's video. Jay Leach, Joe Sacco, both on the Bruins staff currently. Marco Sturm, I think a hot commodity that a lot of teams are going to be looking at. The Bruins in specific have him as a top target for this team. And Misha Donskov, assistant coach for the Dallas Stars. We're also looking at Marc Savard, an assistant coach from the Toronto Maple Leafs. However, that one, I think right now at least, is, I would say, below these couple here. So keep him in mind as well. But Jay Woodcroft, another option now. Someone who has had coaching experience in the NHL before with the Edmonton Oilers. And someone that the Oilers are certainly going to be looking at. The Bruins are certainly going to be looking at. Former Oiler coach Jay Woodcroft, as this coaching carousel does continue to kind of heat up, and as a lot of coaching candidates are coming off the board. When we're looking at Jay Woodcroft here, definitely a very interesting set of games to kind of look at, because we look at his first season, 21-22, 26 wins, 9 losses, 3 overtime losses. Great start there. A 0.724 win percentage there. The year after, 50 wins, 23 losses, 9 overtime losses. Another great season, 665 win percentage. But then we go to the 23-24 season last year. The year before last, sorry. 13 games played. 3 wins, 9 losses, and 1 overtime loss. We saw Chris Knoblauch come to this team, and when it does come down to it, it's the team with McDavid, the team with Draisaitl, a team with a lot of good players. So, you got to kind of blame the coach in that instance. I understand that not always a great thing to blame the coach, but in this instance, I guess it kind of made sense for them. But he has had a very, very good record in the NHL. When we come down and look to it, 133 games played, or games, coached, 79 wins, 41 losses, and 13 overtime losses with a win percentage or a point percentage of a 643, which is very good. And it's kind of interesting, once again, to see that he has not had a coaching job this far. Still a candidate out there compared to, the Canucks going out and hiring Adam Foote, promoting him. Rick Tocchet, one of the highest paid coaches in the NHL, making a 5-year, $5 million deal, which is higher than some players. And there's a few on this list here that are certainly above others. Joe Sacco definitely was kind of thrown under the boat here during this season, not given the great team, but did what he could with it. But Jay Woodcroft, a guy who has had that record before, as I mentioned there, shown that he's been able to do it. And then when it goes down to Marco Sturm, another guy very interesting on his record with his teams, the Ontario Reign, as well as Germany. But we do have a quote here very quickly from Frank Cervalli on the Morning Cup of Hockey. He says he believes that Jay Woodcroft is a leading candidate in Boston and that things have gone well for him there during the interview process. So it is known that Jay Woodcroft has been interviewed by the Boston Bruins, is going to be a top candidate, along with, I guess, a few other here that we can say. Marco Sturm, definitely an option. Joe Sacco, I think, has that kind of in-hand play just because he has coached the team. Didn't do horrible, but the team was just not performing either. So things are going to have to happen very quickly for the Boston Bruins. They need to get things ready to go, and I understand that wanting to wait for Misha Donskov, wanting to wait for Marc Savard are options that they want to do, but they need to make things happen quick, and they've said that they don't want to interrupt the process from the Maple Leafs, from the Dallas Stars during the playoffs, but you have a few options now, and they're getting slimmer and slimmer by the day, so they need to make a choice. Let me know who you want to see as the Bruins head coach for next season, and let me know what you think about Jeremy Swayman here as well. Some very interesting stuff going down in the Bruins world. Not directly with the Bruins, however, so let me know what you think. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, and remember, we're on the road to 7K, so if you haven't done it already, be sure to hit the sub button. It's free. You can unsubscribe whenever, but that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.